Hi, my name is Elaina Love, and I'm a professional gourmet raw food chef, instructor, and detox expert. And today I want to talk to you about alkalinity and acidity and what that means in your body. Now, a lot of you may have heard of swimming pools when they become too acidic and you put chemicals in to balance them, where our bodies are very similar. We have what's called a pH balance in our body. Now, pH ranges from 0 to 14, and the human body is alkaline when it's at 7.0 pH. So in order for us to become 7.0 pH, we have to look at what our diet is. So I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about maybe what you've been eating that can cause you to be acidic or alkaline, and show you some ways to become more alkaline. So when I talk about alkalizing foods or alkalinity, what I'm really talking about is alkaline foods that you can put into your body, such as leafy greens in the form of herbs and lettuce and celeries, and raw fruits and vegetables of all kinds, and sprouted nuts and seeds. And so today what I'm going to do is show you 3 easy green recipes that you can start adding in today that are going to be so easy for you to do, and you can just start alkalizing yourself right away. No need to wait to get started. So the recipe that I have here today, this juice which I start all my cleansers on, is a basic recipe, and you can write this down. It's 1 head of celery, 1 cucumber, and I'm talking about the big cucumbers here, not the pickling cucumbers, a quarter of a lemon, so the juice of a quarter of a lemon, and 5 leaves of kale, and that can be dinosaur kale. I've got small kale from my garden here, so I'd probably do quite a large handful, maybe 2 handfuls about this size of kale. Now the kale is going to add in a lot of calcium, and that's going to make you alkaline more quickly because of all the minerals in it. The celery is full of electrolytes and natural sodium, so that's excellent as well. The cucumber is a diuretic, so it helps to cleanse out your kidneys, and the lemon juice will help it taste sweeter and better. Now if you're not comfortable with just having such a green juice, add an apple in, and I prefer for you to add a green apple in, like a Granny Smith or a Pippin, versus a really sweet apple. But you know, vary it to your taste, and if you need it to be a little sweeter, add either a little carrot or a little apple or a little beet, but don't make that the base of your juice. You want to keep your juice mainly green with a little sweet things added in. And that's your basic juice, and that recipe that I gave you will make you about a day's worth of juice, which a little more than 16 ounces. So if you want to make some for you and family members, you could double that and have more than enough. And you can find a variety of juicers available. I have 2 great juicers on my website, and it's fun to just start playing with juices, and you'll notice right away that it starts to cleanse you out and you'll feel better. Another question people ask me is what's the difference between juice and a smoothie? Well, I'm going to show you a smoothie next. The difference is that juice has no fiber in it. And some people say, well, don't we need all fiber? Yes, we need fiber, and that's why I'm going to show you the smoothie. Of course, you're not going to live on juices. But what happens when you juice is that it goes immediately into your bloodstream. If you're having a sluggish digestive system, or you're overweight and you haven't cleansed a lot, you might not be digesting all this wonderful, amazing juice. So what I want you to do is start juicing, so that immediately when you start to swallow it, the second it goes into your mouth, it will absorb into your cells. It's like putting lotion on it. It's going to go right in. It's not going to have to wait to go through the whole digestive tract. And you're going to access those vitamins and minerals right away. I'm talking within 5 minutes, you're going to notice the difference in your energy, and you're going to be feeling better. And my company is called Pure Joy Planet, and it's based on green juices, because when you start juicing on a regular basis, you will access that pure joy and that feeling of joy, and you're going to love it. So the next thing I want to show you is green smoothies. This is the perfect breakfast food, but it's also a great time, like at dinner time or after dinner, when you just want a snack. Great energy drink, great before you go on a run or go exercising. And it's basically, there's a ratio I'm going to tell you about. Today I'm going to make a celery and orange smoothie. Just 2 ingredients is all you need for these green smoothies. And pretty much well known in the raw food movement is they're called green smoothies. And the ratio is about 60% fruit to 40% greens. And the greens should be anything leafy, like romaine lettuce, parsley, celery, which I'm going to use today. You can go out and pick wild greens like dandelion. Make sure you know what you're picking. But you can pick dandelion, you can pick different, like mallow that grows wild. Lots of different things growing in the wild you can get. But just go into your grocery store and see what looks good. I've even done peaches and cilantro together, which are awesome. So I'm going to put in today 2 oranges, so it's generally 2 pieces of fruit, and about I would say 3 to 4 cups of some kind of leafy green, and this is celery. So I'm just filling up my blender, as you can see. Now sometimes I need to add water. These oranges are pretty juicy, so I'm not going to add water. And you see I'm using the whole orange, but if you have a small blender you might need to chop it up a little bit. I'm just going to blend this up, and I'll show you in a minute what it looks like, but it's just super easy. You just blend until it's smooth and then you drink it, and add water as needed. Okay, so here we have the finished product. As you can see, this makes about 3 or 4 cups of smoothie, and you can also store this in a mason jar for about 24 hours, so you can take it to work with you or take it on the road. It's a great travel food. Delicious. And this is another blended recipe, and it's quick and easy. You can make it in 5 or 10 minutes. And I'm going to make today for you an energy soup. Now this soup can be used making a lot of variety of ingredients, but I'm going to give you an exact recipe today for how to make, it's a creamy cilantro energy soup. And it's one of my students' favorites. Whenever I do the cleansing class, this is their top favorite for the energy soup. So I want to share this with you today. The first thing we're going to add in is our juicy vegetables and fruit. Cucumbers. I have 1 cucumber chopped. It could also be a chopped zucchini. So we're going to put that right into the blender. And then I'm going to add a bell pepper. Now you don't want to use green bell peppers because those are acid forming because it's an unripe fruit. You want to use yellow, orange, or red bell pepper. One of those chopped. And then half of an apple, really any kind of apple. That just adds a little more sweetness to your soup. Half of an apple chopped. So already we're getting our 5 or 6 servings of vegetables just in one soup here today. Then I have an avocado. This is what adds the creaminess, so it's really an avocado-based soup. Now all I have to do is add my leafy green. Now you could add a variety of leafy greens. If you wanted, you could add dill, or you could add kale, you could add cilantro, which I'm adding today. You can add romaine, you can add spinach, you can add really any leafy green that you want. Celery. I love the cilantro because it gives it almost a Mexican-y flavor. And then I'm going to add that in, push it down nicely. And that was 1 bunch of cilantro chopped. Half a teaspoon of cumin powder. It's going in, and that seasoning could be varied. If you're doing dill, you could do Italian seasoning with that. You could do basil and Italian seasoning. You could do a Mexican seasoning. You could do just whatever your favorite seasoning is. I'm going to add a teaspoon of onion powder and then just a little cayenne, however much cayenne you like in your soup. I'm going to add that in. And these are all really fresh organic spices. Everything I'm using today is organic, and the spices are non-irradiated. They don't have anti-caking agents in them, and they're organic. And then the last thing I'm adding is, if you can see, the salt is called Himalayan salt crystals, and it's got minerals in it. So there's 3 salts you can use: Celtic salt, Himalayan salt, and also real salt. And those are all high mineral salts. And you want to use a salt that's got a color because it means there's minerals in it. So that was half a teaspoon of salt, or to taste. And then the last thing I'm going to add is some tamari. I have a tablespoon of wheat-free tamari. Tamari is similar to soy sauce, but soy sauce has wheat in it, and you don't want to use wheat products because they're more acid forming. So this is a tamari, which has no wheat, and that's a tablespoon. And finally, the water. 1/2 cup of water, and that could be hot boiling tea water to make your soup warm. And then I'm going to take this and blend it until it's all one consistency, nice and creamy. Okay, so here we have our blended energy soup. This makes about 4.5 cups, which serves about, probably 2 people for a meal, or you can have it even for 4 people just as a side dish. And a great way just to add this to your dinner or have it as a lunch substitute. Bring this to work with you. So I'm going to pour that in the bowl. And then fun toppings you can add on. I have here just some chopped scallions, which I'm going to sprinkle on here. Scallions are green onions. And then some dulse, which is a seaweed. So just little bits of dulse torn up would be great on there. You can chop bell peppers, romaine lettuce, the hearts of the romaine chopped is crunchy. Some peas would be great in there. So just use your imagination. Fresh corn off the cob is wonderful, nice and crunchy and fresh. And like I said, you can heat this up by adding hot water to it instead of regular water. And there you have energy soup, which will give you lots of energy, and you can eat this all the time and feel like it's a staple in your diet, and it's going to always be giving you energy and keeping you moving.